It was Knight Frederick's jousting tournament. This was his final battle to decide if he would become the King of Lundenchester. I, as his armour, had prepared him with the finest suit of armour, but the helmet was my prized piece. The metal was shaped precisely to fit his head and had air holes for maximum breathing. So Frederick and I were in his pavilion waiting for the anticipated opponent to arrive. Frederick looked nervous. If he wins this joust, he gets the whole kingdom and a beautiful wife. I bet the knight you will be jousting will be a young knight with no experience, I tried to assure Frederick. It didn't seem to be working. But what if he's not? I can never become a peasant again. Frederick didn't want to lose and become a peasant because when he was a baby, his mother had died of starvation. He didn't want to die the way his mother had. Trumpets sounded, signaling the arrival of Frederick's opponent. Presenting Knight Frederick's opponent, the Fire Knight of Ruston Valley. Uh-oh, Frederick said, as a look of dread washed over his face. But the moment he said those words, the knight's suit lit on fire. Before I knew it, I was up in the roaring stands, and Frederick was out on the grounds. His silver pauldron sparkled in the sun, but Frederick's face didn't seem quite as happy. Though, through all his nerves, Frederick managed to put his head up and start to glare at the Fire Knight. "Charge!" screamed both of the dashing knights as the horses sped towards each other. Frederick aimed his lance at the chestplate of the Fire Knight, trying to knock him off balance, but he fought back with a blow at Frederick's stomach. Frederick and the knight fought harder and harder, with many more life-threatening blows, but the match only did seem to come to an end when the Fire Knight knocked Frederick's lance out of his hands. Frederick's greaves had big dents in them, and his chestplate had entirely fallen off. The Fire Knight pushed Frederick off his horse in one last attempt. Frederick's head slammed on the ground, and he lay there unconscious. "Come on, Frederick, surrender. I always knew you'd follow in your mother's fate." This seemed to awaken Frederick. "How dare you!" he screamed in rage. He stood back up and said, "You are going to lose." I won't tell you the rest of the story, because it doesn't matter. What does matter is the bravery that Frederick showed out there in the arena. That is what truly being a knight is about.